Factors of production. Factors of productions are resources needed to produce goods and services like we've already done. They can be divided into four main categories: land, labor, capital, and enterprise. So land is the physical area as well as like any resource that you extract from land. So coal that you extract from land, oil that you may extract from land, fruits, vegetables that grow on the land, river, oceans, all of these will come under this category. Labor. So labor is basically all human efforts, both mental as well as physical. So if I'm sitting here and teaching you using my mental capabilities, I'm a part of the labor force. And if there's anyone else, let's say a banker who's working at the bank, again using their mental capabilities, will also be considered a part of the labor force, as well as people who will be working with their physical strength. So if you see workers on the road, maybe lifting bricks, and mazdoor, what we basically call them, are also a part of the labor force. Capital is all man-made resources that assist in the production process. So like machinery and offices and screwdrivers, even a calculator, all of these are examples of capital. Enterprise now is the risk-taking ability of businessmen to basically organize the factors of production together. And the people who take these risks and run these businesses are called entrepreneurs. Let's do this activity. The following is the list of economic resources. In each case, decide whether the resource is an example of capital, enterprise, labor, or land. So let's go through them one by one. Capital enterprise. Chemical fertilizer. I'm really sorry. What is a chemical fertilizer? Since this will assist in the production of something, so this will qualify as capital, because it is a man-made resources which will help us in making something else, probably grow more fruits or vegetables. A school will also be considered capital because it will assist us in the production process. A lake would come under the category of land. The work of a nurse, pretty easy, this will be labor. And the initiative needed to set up and run a bicycle business repair shop is enterprise. Mobility of factors of production. So mobility, when something is mobile, you should be able to move with it anywhere, just like you are with your mobile phones. So when we talk about the mobility of factors of production, we essentially mean that are they mobile? Will they be able to move from one place to another? And we're going to look at it one by one. So let's talk about land first. So land is occupationally mobile and geographically mobile. Now what that means is, what do I mean by occupationally mobile? What that means is that you will be able to use the same piece of land to make different stuff. So you can use it to make a house, a shopping mall, a school, or whatever. On the other hand, if you want to move that piece of land, like if I want to move a particular piece of land from Karachi to Lahore, I will not be able to. So that is what is meant by geographically immobile, that you won't be able to move its geographical location. Mobility of labor. So I know you might think that labor should be mobile, like it should be easy for people to, but it is actually not. It is occupationally mobile as well as geographically mobile. So what that means is that once you've been trained, so if I've been trained as a teacher, it'll be suddenly very difficult for me to just get up and now decide that I want to be a therapist or a doctor or a banker, because it will be difficult for me. It will be difficult for me to change my profession, because I have been trained and I have, if you look at the information also, that I've been trained and I have qualifications in the relevant field. So labor is also geographically immobile, and you know, a lot of students make this mistake. They usually end up thinking, if there's an MCQ on this particular topic, they end up thinking कि नहीं, labor is geographically mobile. हम एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाते हैं और shift करते भी हैं. But on the like, I would like you to think that on the whole, and most of the people will find it difficult to move from one place to another. उसमें उनके कुछ भी हो सकते हैं, family ties, if you just look at the information on the screen, family ties, different educational systems. Sometimes there's lack of information. Sometimes for example, if I don't know that there's a job good enough that I can find somewhere else, so if there's no information that I have on it, then I will be stuck in whatever job I have, even if I want to switch. The point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of students end up thinking कि geographically तो labor को mobile होना चाहिए, but वो नहीं होते. उनके बहुत से reasons होते हैं. Sometimes you grow up, you have families by the time you're working, you have the certain responsibilities holding you down, and you tend to be immobile. So labor is geographically and occupationally immobile. Okay, capital is occupationally and geographically mobile. So you can use, for example, let's say if I have a restaurant and I decide कि मैं अपने restaurant के लिए एक van खरीदती हूँ, I will be able to use that particular van if I, let's say, give it to my friend who, let's say, runs a boutique. So she will be able to use it to, let's say, deliver her orders as well, and I will be able to use it in my restaurant as well. So labor it can be used in different occupations, and it is geographically mobile, very easy to understand. You can take take machinery and move it from one place to another. But the thing is that obviously the piece of machinery that you're talking about, if it's made for a particular, let's say, industry, let's say if you're using a piece of industry to make Cadbury's chocolate, so you can't expect to use that same piece of machinery in another occupation and expect it to make cars. So that is where the restraint is. Otherwise, it is generally mobile. Okay, mobility of enterprise. So now entrepreneurs are basically risk takers. They are very, very passionate, most of them. So when they want to run a business and when they want to make profit, they will be willing to go wherever they want to change occupations if they want to, if that is what is going to get them a profit, and go and move to any other geographical location as well if they have to. So entrepreneurs they are mobile, and enterprise, this ability is mobile across occupations as well as geographically as well. A university rejects 2,000 qualified applicants who wish to study there. What factor of production could have caused the university to make this decision? Okay, now let's look at the options. An infinite quantity of capital, scarcity of labor, surplus of land, and unlimited supply of enterprise. Now, the correct option is option B, and the reason is because in all other options they're not talking about scarcity of anything, they're just rather talking about everything either being infinite, in surplus, or unlimited. So option B is the correct answer. Sometimes when you don't know कि कौन सी option is the correct one, the method of elimination is a good one. Just look at the options and think कि कौन सा वाला नहीं हो सकता. So just eliminate those and sometimes you will end up with the correct option. Each factor of production earns an income. What correctly identifies the income for labor and capital? So the income for labor, you must know, is either wages or salaries. So in this case, there are only two options which are showing you wages. So option C and D. And then the income for capital can obviously not be profit. So it is interest. Therefore, the correct option is part D. This one was an easy one. An increase in the number of manufacturing robots in the car manufacturing industry represents an increase in the quantity of which factor of production? So manufacturing robots जो हैं वो कौन सा factor of production है? They are very easy, capital, and they are capital because they are going to be used in the production process of making cars in the car manufacturing industry.